Hello guys, my name is Kujalai, and today I'm going to show you how to put a texture or picture in your perspective model exactly like this. So let's get started. Well, here is my building. You can open any building you want. Of course, it just need to be in perspective view. And I'm gonna create a texture on front wall and on the left side of the wall. To do that, all you need to do is to create a perspective plane on both walls. For that, I'm going to use a tool called Vanishing point. You can access from filter menu, or you can press Ctrl, Alt, and V from your keyboard. One thing you have to remember is you can create vanishing point on the smart object, so you need to rasterize before you use that tool. So I'm gonna rasterize this layer. Press right click on this layer and choose rasterize. Then we need to go to filter and access vanishing point. Well, here you have to create perspective plane on this wall. To create perspective plane, you can access those two from just here, or you can press keyboard shortcut C from your keyboard. And you have to place 4 points to create perspective plane. I'm gonna place first point just right here, and second point must be right here, and that point must be just right here, and the fourth point must be just here. Okay, you have to remember one thing: while you creating perspective plane, your plane just need to turn to blue. If your plane turn to red or yellow, you have to change your control point just like this. So be remember your plane need to be turned to green. So after that, and we need to create another plane on the left side of the wall. So I'm gonna press Ctrl key and drag this point. Okay, after it you have to adjust this point and release your Ctrl key. Okay, I'm gonna press this Ctrl key and place here, and press this point and place just right here. So our plane is ready, and I'm gonna press OK. Now we need to bring up our texture. So go to Find, then choose Place. You can choose any texture or picture you want, and I'm gonna choose this flag right here, then place it. Now we have to scale down this texture, and I'm gonna press Shift and Alt and scale it down to a small size, because when we place this texture on the perspective plane, it will scale up, it will get bigger, so we need to scale it down before we place in this texture on the perspective plane. So next step, I'm gonna press Ctrl and left click on this layer to get the selection. Then I'm gonna press Ctrl C to copy this image, then deselect this image and go to select and deselect, or you can press Ctrl D from your keyboard. Then hide this texture, and I'm gonna create a new layer above this one. So press new layer. Then we need to go to filter and vanishing point. You can see the plane is still there. Now we all need to do is to place the texture we just copied. So I'm gonna press Ctrl V from my keyboard, Ctrl V, and drag our texture on the perspective plane. It will automatically fit your perspective plane. If the scale is too small, you can scale it up. So I'm gonna press Ctrl T from my keyboard and scale it up. Left click and drag this, and this one just right here, and this one just right here. If you're happy with your texture placement, you can press OK. Well, our texture is perfectly placed on those walls. Now I'm going to change this layer blending mode from normal to multiply. You can see the texture is perfectly blended on the wall, but there is some problem with this texture. I don't want my texture running on the windows and other part of the wall, so I need to clean it up. And still my texture is so sharp on the edge of the wall, so I need to fix this all. So First, I need to create selection on this window. So I'm gonna use some selection on this window, and I'm gonna use polygon laser tool. Well, after you have done with your selection, you can press delete key from your keyboard to erase those texture, and press Ctrl D to make this layer. And still I need to erase some part of the image that doesn't want on my other part of the wall. So I'm gonna reduce this opacity to see background of this texture, and choose erase, and I'm gonna erase this all. And I still don't want my texture between these two walls. You can erase if you want, or you can create layer mask to hide this texture. In my case, I'm gonna use layer mask to hide this texture. So I'm gonna choose layer mask from layer palette. Then I need to paint on this layer mask with black color. So I'm gonna use brush tool, and your foreground need to be black color to hide this texture. Have to paint with black color on the layer mask. Now we need to fix these hard edges. You can see it is quite unrealistic, so you need to blur it out. So we're gonna use this blur tool to blur it out. Make sure you are selected this layer, then paint it on the hard edge. Then you can erase some part of the edges to make it more realistic. So I'm gonna use erase tool to erase those some of the edge, and I'm gonna choose different types of brush to do that. And I'm gonna reduce opacity to 38 or 40%, 46%. Okay, it's too much. If you want this more realistic, you can place some break texture above this layer. So I'm gonna do that. Go to File and Place. So I'm gonna use this break texture and place it, and scale it to fit the lower texture, and confirm it. And I'm gonna change this blending mode from normal to overlay. Okay, this is too much, so I'm gonna change this to soft light. Okay, this is much better, but I need to reduce the opacity. Of course, I need to erase some part of the image, and I'm gonna use layer mask and use brush, and foreground need to be black, and I'm gonna erase these parts. Well, if the texture opacity is too much, you can lower this opacity. And I need to erase those texture from this window. If the texture is too dark, you can use curve adjustment layer to brighten up from just here, and click and choose curve and brighten up a little bit. Okay, that's better. Okay, I'm gonna apply this effect only beneath this layer too. So I'm gonna create a layer clipping mask from here and choose create clipping mask. Okay, well, that's all for today, guys. If you like my video, comment below if you have any questions, and of course don't forget to subscribe my channel for the future video. See you in the next tutorial.